G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. It's been a few days since my last video, but here I am doing another one. This is going to be a movie review. Now this movie is a Greek film, so unless you can speak Greek, you're going to have to do a bit of English subtitle reading, so if that's not your thing, then I would probably not bother with this video, but if you don't mind a bit of foreign cinema, then hopefully this review creates enough interest for you to go and watch this movie if you haven't done so already. So this movie is a 2009 film. It's a Greek film, directed by Georgios Lanthimos, and this movie is called Dogtooth. Now you may recognise this film. This had been nominated for an Academy Award for Best Foreign Film. It didn't win, but at least it got the recognition and attention. And yeah, it's one of the more wider known sort of foreign cinema films. So it's always good when a foreign film gets the much sort of deserved attention. So this is a pretty expensive buy for me. Every new release here in Australia is really expensive, $28, but considering all the hype surrounding it, I thought I'll spend the money, I'll fork out the money, and hopefully I won't regret it because, as I said, a lot of hype surrounding it, so I thought it'd be worth it. This is a very, very bizarre film to kind of explain, but I'll do my best. So it's set in Greece, in this isolated country estate in the middle of nowhere. And there is a mother and father and two daughters and a son. Now, the father is the only one that's allowed to leave this estate. It's a pretty large sort of property, and it's surrounded by a big perimeter fence. Now, the father is the only one allowed to leave. He goes and he manages this factory, and that's how he gets money to make a life for this family, keep a roof over their head and put food on the table. So the mother, two daughters and son have to stay inside this perimeter. Now the children are in their late teens, early 20s, and they've been brought up in this very false sort of world. The mother and father have scared these children into staying inside this property and being afraid of the outside world because the parents are so concerned that the children will be contaminated and influenced by the outside world. So the parents see themselves as the only people these children need, and therefore create all these really scary stories about the outside world that they'll be so scared that they want to stay inside. So for example, the father tells them that the most vicious animal in existence is the cat, which is just a normal household cat, and that if they go outside, this cat will devour them. So that's how unrealistic and bizarre this world that they're living in is like, and it's pretty disturbing to see that a world like this can exist in this day and age. So throughout the film, we're told of these really bizarre stories and the bizarre behaviour of these children. Now, that's as far as I go with the story because I really don't want to give away everything, because I really think that the bizarre nature of this film has to be seen rather than said. So as far as I go with the story, it's pretty much just two parents, psychotic parents, who are keeping their children inside because they fear the outside world. So it is definitely a case of parenting and the extreme lengths that some parents will go to protect their children. And while they have the intention of protecting them, they are preventing them from having the life that they deserve. So it really is a look at the restrictions parents have on their children and the ability, the power that parents have over their children, and the fact that the children become what the parents create. And that's definitely a case in this. These children are very, very weird. They have no life skills because they haven't been taught any life skills, and it really is a case of role models, and in this case the role models letting them down in a big way, and yeah, just the power of parenting. Now, yes, as I said, extremely bizarre film. Now we get some parents, what we're taught, common sense, is from the result of what our parents have taught us as we're growing up. You don't go and play on the road because it's dangerous, obviously, cars. You don't touch a spider because it'll bite you, and you put sunscreen on when you go out to play outside because of the sun. So these are all normal, common sense things that we've been brought up with. And then you've got the overprotective parent who won't let their child outside because they fear of them getting kidnapped or getting hit by a car. Reasonable kind of fears, but not very likely, and therefore, you're being overprotective. But then you've got the extreme case, and this is definitely the extreme. They don't let their children out. They don't let them have any influences from the outside world. There's one character in this film who is an influence. She comes inside the estate, but she's blindfolded, so she doesn't know which way to go to get to this house. So it's kind of like the children are kept prisoner inside their own home without them realizing, because they don't know any better. So it really is a very disturbing look at parenting. It is an extreme film, so you're going to have to go into this one with extreme caution. The violence is pretty painful to watch, but the violent scenes are few and far between, and they aren't brutal. One scene I would say is brutal, very, very hard to watch, but you can stomach the violence. It's the sexual content which makes this film so disturbing, and an extreme film. The sexual content in this film is very explicit. It is not arousing at any point. It's very awkward, very uncomfortable, and it's wrong on so many levels. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. They don't shy away from anything. There's full frontal male and female nudity, so if that offends you, then I definitely won't check this one out. There are shocking, shocking moments, and it's just very, very subtle. The whole film is very subtle. Now, the camera work was done brilliantly. There was only one scene where it was shaky, and that was where the camera follows this girl running. And apart from that, pretty much the whole film, the scenes are shot very still. So you just bang. You don't have to follow anything. You're just watching what's on the screen. And at some points, you find yourself in a trance-like state, because it is just that captivating, but it's done so subtly. So it's a very unique piece of cinema. Now, the acting was absolutely fantastic. The children were weird, and they played the weird sort of characters very, very well. The mother kind of felt like she was kind of following the father, or her husband. And it seemed like she was just going along with the plan, while the father was the one who was orchestrating everything. This father was really a psychopath, but he's a psychopath of a different nature. He wasn't a killing machine. He was just someone who had these unrealistic, bizarre ideas and forcing them upon his family and preventing them from having life that they deserved. So he's a different kind of psychopath, but a psychopath all the same. So very, very good film. I consider this a modern masterpiece. I loved it. I really did. As I said, extreme sort of sexual content. It's rated R. A few violent scenes here and there, but the violence isn't what makes this film so disturbing. It's just the whole nature of the fact that these children, who are now nearly adults, are still living like this. They don't know any better. They've got no life skills, and it's all because of the parenting. And it is true. We are what we're raised up to be. And people say it's a comedy. It is very funny, but you won't find yourself laughing out loud. It's more of a sort of nervous sort of laugh. You're laughing at stuff because it's so weird, and at the same time you will be disgusted. That's just the kind of film it is. A very, very, very bizarre film. So if you like your weird films and you're not easily offended, I would definitely go and check Dogtooth out. But just be careful. There are some shocking scenes in it, and just expect the unexpected, because that's what this film is. You can't predict how this film is going to be. You're going to have to watch it to find out. You're either going to love it or hate it. Personally, I loved it, but that's just my taste. So that's my review of the 2009 Greek film Dogtooth. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.